Some of the places we saw were just terrible. So I got back from Asia at the start of March and I spent the majority of that month apartment hunting in New York City. I am now in my new apartment. I finally have a couch. It's starting to become furnished. But the whole process of actually getting an apartment that you liked and ticked off the things you needed in New York is quite hard. So I've recorded all of the apartments that we did view throughout the course of our viewing series, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to show you what certain price points gets you in New York City apartment wise. So the first thing I want to talk about are the things that I was looking out for when looking for an apartment. So obviously a lot of my job is primarily in content creation. So I wanted somewhere that was bright. So I had not floor to ceiling windows, luckily I got them, but like bright windows, a bright space and a spacious space at that as well. So I can tell you where I used to live. I used to live in Midtown Manhattan on the east side. The sounds of the city. And although the apartment was amazing, I was sharing with 4 others. So I was kind of tied to my room when it came to work, when it came to filming, when it came to just work in general. And I felt like I was doing everything in my room. So this was finished the end of March. And then the searching for an apartment started the beginning of March. So the main thing, a bright, spacious space. Ideally, we wanted a washer and a dryer in unit. So with washing machines and dryers in New York, you don't get them in your building sometimes, or you don't get them in your unit, so in your actual apartment. The third thing was location. So really close to the things that I usually go to. So for example, I walk in Central Park all the time. I wanted to be close to there. I also gym near and around that area. So I wanted to be close to there as well. And also with working and my job, I do go to a good few events within Manhattan. So I wanted to be within reach to all of those places. So just bearing that in mind for when I do show you these videos. So I am going to be looking at my phone quite a bit because I have notes and I also have the videos on here. And then the price point for all of these apartments were between $3,500 to $4,000 per month. I know, New York. The first apartment that we did look at was in the Lower East Side, and per month it was $3,500. Now, when I first walked into this place, it was the weirdest area. I just felt so unsafe walking around. All the windows like on like buildings and stuff were like barricaded or had like bars up on them. And then we walked into the apartment and it was really weird because you had to go in a door to then walk through like a corridor to go in another door, which led you outside to then go in another door to go into the apartment. So it was really, really, really weird. Like it was just like straight back with so many doors. So for this apartment, it did have a back garden, but the space was tiny. Like, I mean, so small. You could barely walk around it. And bear in mind, these videos are in 0.5 as well. So it might make the space look bigger, but it really, really wasn't. The kitchen was tiny. Like, it just came off the kind of living area. And then you immediately went into the bathroom. Now, a plus for this place, it did have a washer and dryer in unit, but my goodness, the place was so small. The weirdest thing about it then was the bedroom was downstairs. So you go down the stairs, a little area there, not too big, but there was no windows. So I actually don't think that you're allowed to classify a room as a bedroom if there's not a window. But yeah, this particular, we'll call it room, had a closet to be fair, but was so dark, did not have a window, and it was just really, really eerie. Now, there was a second bathroom downstairs, I suppose it was good, but we just saw that, and immediately I was like, okay, no, that's not for me. So that was the first one, and that was the Lower East Side, and it was $3,500 per month. With this one, it didn't have a walk-up, and ideally we wanted a doorman and an elevator as well, not a walk-up. Okay, the second one. So the second apartment we looked at was in East Village, and per month this was $3,500. Now, it was still a small space, but it was bigger than the previous one. But the door was right there, like on the right hand side. You can see it in the video. And then immediately you're in the kitchen. So that was your little kitchenette there, which for New York is actually not the worst. Like I've seen smaller. But then immediately off the kitchen was the bathroom. Washer and dryer in unit though, which was a plus. And then the bedroom was just right off the living space. And it wasn't that big whatsoever. Fair enough storage to be fair, but the space itself was fair small. Like it was small. So immediately I was turned off by the walk up anyways, and then seeing the space and realizing how small it was, I was like, okay, like that's not a bit of me now. So that was a no for the East Village apartment. Then the next apartment we viewed again was in East Village, and the price for this per month was $3,495. It was a 1-floor walk-up. It actually wasn't the worst whatsoever. And to be honest, it was the nicest one that we'd seen all day. So it slightly gave me a bit of hope for the apartment hunting in New York. Like we started off our journey on such such a bad foot with all the apartments that we saw. So when I saw this place, I was like, oh my God, okay, there's a bit of hope out there. So you walked in the front door, you were greeted with a spacious living area. So the living area, living room, and the kitchen was in one space. Big windows. It was a bright unit, to be fair. The only thing I noticed in the kitchen, though, there wasn't a lot of storage. Like the presses were very limited, and like there would be nowhere really to put like your pots and pans and stuff like that. Washer and dryer in unit though, which was brilliant, and the bedroom was actually big. Like it wasn't massive, but it did, like, you had space. It was the first spacious place I'd actually seen. Building itself though, although it was modernized, and like the actual building was an old building, which is kind of common for those areas. Then outside the bedroom, kind of across from the washer dryers, was the bathroom, half bath again, and again that was the entrance to the building there. Yeah, the kitchen was nice. I know they were putting in a new, I think it was dishwasher or something in there, so that's why you see it there on the floor. But there was no AC in the apartment, so I was in there, and it was a really, really cold March day, freezing cold outside, but I was in that apartment walking around for maybe 2 minutes, and I was sweating. Like it was warm, but there was no AC, so immediately we were like, okay. And also I forgot to mention at the start of this video, AC was needed in the apartment. Like that was one of our non-negotiables as well. And then another con to this place was there was a bar downstairs, so obviously every single night it would be extremely loud down there until all hours in the morning. So when looking for apartments in New York, like, I feel like that's something that a lot of people, I suppose, aren't really aware of. And anytime I was looking at somewhere, I was looking at the surroundings and what the area was like itself, because imagine picking that apartment and not realizing there was a bar underneath you because, I don't know, you didn't observe it or something, and then you can't sleep any weekend night, or any weekday night at that as well, because New York is New York. But yeah, it was the nicest one for sure that we saw. It just wasn't it for me. So after Lower East Side and East Village being absolute hell for apartment hunting, we decided to go out a small bit. A lot of Irish people here live in a place called Astoria, so it's about 20 minutes out on the train. Everything we viewed there was stunning. Now, they're a bit more expensive. I didn't write the exact prices down on my phone, which I don't know why I did. I was just giving up after, I actually did give up after East Village, because I was like, oh my God. But I think all of the apartments were about $4,000 per month in Astoria. Basically, with the train being the main mode of transportation from Astoria into the city, you kind of want to be near enough to the train station or where the trains go from. But the first place we viewed was a little bit out. It's a new building, new build. The place was stunning. Like, I mean, so modern and so nice. So the first one they showed us was the showroom, which is the video you're seeing now. It was a 2-bedroom apartment, so obviously the further you go out, you get a bit more bang for your buck. Like in the city, you'd be lucky to get realistically a nice 1-bed for $4,000, whereas in Astoria you were getting a 2-bed for $4,000 per month. Lots of storage in each room. They're both like queen size rooms or double size rooms. I actually don't know what they'd call it. But it was just stunning. Like really, really spacious living area. Kitchen was there, and the bedrooms were just really like, they were quite spacious, to be honest. Like it was a good setup and a good use of space. We viewed a few units in that building, so you'll see like all the variety here in the videos. And I must say that was like the first time I was like, whoa, okay, there are nice apartments out here in New York, to be fair. Now, the second unit in that building we viewed, I liked it a lot more because the kitchen was like tucked away into the corner, and it was just like really, really nice space. This one wasn't furnished, so you can kind of see it a bit more, but everything about it was just so modern. Like even the bathrooms, like everything was stunning. This particular unit was so bright, so I think it was east facing, Anyway, it was really bright. Big windows, bright, you got a view of the city in the background, and it had a little balcony as well. And then we viewed another one in that building, but it was on the opposite side of the hallway, so either east or west. I'm going to say west facing, the opposite of the first one. It was still bright, but not as bright. But again, same layout, just little tiny differences. The kitchen wasn't tucked away like the previous one, but it was still absolutely stunning. But I did love the one where the kitchen was tucked away. I was like, it was just so nice because it kind of like separated your living area and then obviously your kitchen and cooking area as well at the same time. So yeah, we viewed a good few of the units. I think it was a 4 or 5 we viewed in that building, and we were really, really happy with the building itself. It had everything that we wanted. It also had a rooftop as well, so it was stunning. It was such a nice day when we viewed it as well. Lovely, lovely rooftop, and it had everything we were looking for, except for it didn't have a doorman, but it did have an elevator. But it was like a card controlled or key controlled building anyway, so really, really safe. Anyways, it gave us a bit of hope, I must say. Massive back garden actually in the last unit that we did view as well, but that was kind of, I suppose, a selling point for it because it was on the ground floor and it wasn't as bright as the other units that we saw in the building. The building itself also had a gym. which obviously is really, really handy. It wasn't necessary for us to have a gym, but having a gym would be a massive plus. Like, and it also had a co-working space as well, which is kind of cute. So yeah, it was just really, really functional and really, really good. So we were really impressed by that building. I just thought that it was potentially a bit too far for us, unfortunately. Then we viewed another apartment in Astoria, and I mean, it was stunning. So this actually wasn't open yet. It didn't have any tenants, and I think only starting to fill up the building or take tenants starting in May. So it's still not even open yet. Like it's like as new as they come. I think it was like a build before COVID, and then obviously COVID stopped it, and now they're back building again. But I mean, this apartment was stunning. Bedroom was huge. There was so much storage, like press, so much storage, so many presses. I loved the kitchen. So I loved the island in the kitchen. One thing I would have loved and I was looking for was an island kitchen. Obviously, you're not going to get that all the time, but the island kitchen in that unit was just so big, so stunning, and the marble kind of effect on it was just so pretty. We viewed a few units in that building as well, like a mixture of 1 beds, 2 beds. And honestly, I have not a single fault to say about it. It was so nice, so modern, and it had absolutely everything that you need. Like, this is the 2 bed here that I'm just looking at. Like, I was so well impressed by it. Like, they were all stunning. Absolutely stunning. So that was Astoria. And then we decided to go a little closer to Manhattan to a place called Long Island City. So Long Island City is known for like new high-rise luxury buildings. They're just popping up everywhere. So we're like, right, we'll have a look in Long Island City and see what we get shown. So the first apartment we saw it was a 1 bed, but it actually was a 2 bed. And the reason it wasn't allowed to be called a 2 bed is because the second bedroom didn't have a window. So it was going to act kind of as an office space, but it absolutely could have been like a second bedroom. The space itself was really, really spacious, like a big kitchen, like a big kitchen living area space as well. And it was just really, really modern. Like, it was very, very nice. Big windows as well, so the space was bright, and the room itself was quite spacious with a lot of storage too. So that was a massive plus. But all in all, I was really, really impressed by that building. And I think the fact that there was a second bedroom, although it wasn't allowed to be advertised as a second bedroom, the fact it had the second room / office room is huge, because you pay a lot of money for 2 bed apartments here. The fact that it wasn't a second bedroom and it was there was a massive selling point in my eyes. All of the apartments also that we viewed in Long Island City were just shy of $4,000. So again, between $3,500 to $4,000. Then the next building that we viewed again was in Long Island City. It was a 1 bedroom, and I must say, when I did walk in here, it was stunning. It wasn't as bright as previous ones we saw, but it did have a massive island kitchen, which again was something I really, really wanted. Quite spacious. It did have aircon in the building and like central heating and stuff, which is always a massive plus. And the bedroom was quite spacious, to be fair. Had a good bit of storage. Like, the press in the bathroom was big, and it just had like all of the things that you need, like your microwave and, you know, everything else appliance wise. Bathroom was a little on the smaller side, but it was still nice, and it had like a half bath in there as well. And yeah, we did quite like that space. For that one, we were quite impressed, and it was very, very spacious. So the common consensus with this is the further you go out from Manhattan, the more space you will get. With this unit as well, there was a lovely rooftop area, and it did have amenities as well. So it had like a little co-working space thing, and I'm pretty sure it had a gym as well. I didn't record any of the gyms in the buildings just because people were using them at the time as well, and I wanted to be respectful of them and their workouts and not record, obviously. And then the last apartment, except for the one that I'm in right now and I actually chose, the last apartment that I did view was in Long Island City as well. Now, I was obsessed with this building, okay? Like, I saw so many units online in this building, and I was like, I need to go and view one. And the main reason being was it had floor to ceiling windows. Like, it was just stunning, and I was just imagining how you would like do it up and, you know, furnish it and stuff, and it had me really excited. So there happened to be 1 unit free, and only 1 unit. Okay, my SD card just filled up with storage, and I was trying to find another one, but I can't find it, and I'm in a rush because I have a creator event to go to in like a half an hour, and I really want to finish this video, so apologies for the transition over to my iPhone. But the last apartment that we did view was in Long Island City. I'm pretty sure it was $4,000 per month. It was stunning though. Big floor to ceiling windows, washer dryer in unit. It had an island in the kitchen. The bedroom was spacious, a good amount of storage as well. It had a gym in the building also. It did have really good amenities. The only problem was that it was directly across from a train station, so there was just no privacy there. And a lot of people, I actually posted a video on TikTok which went kind of semi-viral about that building, and I was just so disappointed because I was like, I loved it, but it was just no privacy. And a load of people were like, pull the blinds down. And I was like, obviously you can pull the blinds down, but if you're going to be spending stupid money on an apartment, you want it to be bright and, you know, have the windows be used for the windows and like it be bright. So yeah, that was a massive no, just because there was just too many people that could physically see into your apartment. And it did have, like, to be fair, the like blockage thing on the outside of the windows with the reflection, but that doesn't really work at night time when lights are on in apartments and stuff. And I just don't think I would have felt comfortable to live there. So that was a no for that one, even though the building itself was stunning and the unit size for the apartments were like, they were of a good standard and a good space as well. So that was my apartment tour in New York City. Obviously started off really bad, but progressively got a bit better as well. It is hard to find everything that you want here. Like, sometimes you do either have to sacrifice location or space when it comes to apartments. They're kind of the main things that I found, and you're not going to get everything on your list as well. Like, one thing that was on my list was washer and dryer in unit in the place I'm in now, which I will show you in due course. There's a load of videos coming, so make sure that you do subscribe so you don't miss them. There is a washer and dryer in the building, so not in my unit. But yeah, you kind of have to compromise on some things. But that was my apartment tour experience in New York. And like I said, a lot of moving content coming now that I have this video done and posted by the time it's edited. Lots of moving content, and then eventually once I have the apartment done, I will do the apartment tour as well. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. It is crazy out here trying to look for apartments in New York, and just stupidly expensive, but sure, look, it is the city that we're in. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching.